Do any of you have a nemesis? A truly inescapable force, hell-bent on antagonizing you and ensuring your downfall and misfortune? An arch-enemy that time and time again remains unconquerable? I do. And it's not a person, it's a game. One so baffling in its very concept, so vile and putrid in every conceivable manner, so confounding and asinine in its very concept alone that though I have attempted on multiple occasions to review it, I cannot even muster up a script half the time. That game is Cheggers Party Quiz. It all began in the winter of 2012. I was pushing trolleys at a supermarket for a living, and it hadn't been long since I initially started the channel. In the final days of Blockbuster Video, a store local to my work was having a sale to liquidate their stock. Upon walking through, I saw a PC copy of the title on sale for a single £1. The cover was like a red flag to a bull, so outlandish. It was Keith Chegwin, definitely. I recognised the visage of the UK game show presenting broadcaster. But this surreal grotesque of him caught my eye, and for that price, well, I fancied myself a dab hand at writing about the bizarre side of gaming, so I picked it up, and I still wish I never had. Cheggers Party Quiz was released by Oxygen Games in 2007 for the PlayStation 2, Nintendo Wii, and PC, and that's literally all the background information I have about it. I have absolutely no idea why this video game exists. I haven't the foggiest what could possibly have prompted Oxygen to develop this piece of software. I assumed for a while that it was somewhat related to the Chris Moyle Breakfast Show. That was on BBC Radio 1 around that era, and Cheggers Pop Quiz was a feature, but upon research I found out that that segment was introduced in 2009. Does art imitate life, or does life imitate art? Regardless of my own experiences though, it would appear then that the circumstances behind the existence of Cheggers Party Quiz are indeed a mystery. That uncertainty to this day fills me with dread. Upon starting the game, the developer logos roll, and then a loading screen pops up with some sort of promise, but despite the marketing team obviously spending time and money creating art assets with a certain visual flair and look in mind, the programmers could not care less about this. The transition to title screen that follows is so insanely jarring and sudden, you could get whiplash from the change in visual style. The title, Cheggers Party Quiz, sits front and centre, like a dog dragging its unclean bottom across the floor during a dinner party, written in a font depressingly similar to Joker Man. Any first impressions the loading screen could have given you will be immediately dashed, and those were hardly lofty to begin with, I hope. I paid £1 for this at Blockbuster, remember, when they were shutting down, expected literally nothing, and still ended up disappointed. Before each section of the quiz, a terrifying CGI rendition of Keith Chegwin pops up to be abrasive and jump around, looking like some sort of freakish mix between a Harlequin baby and Warwick Davis. This thing haunts my worst nightmares, and the decision to include them in this farce baffles me anyway. Why they went with the CGI Cheggers I don't know, since these segments aren't rendered in-engine. Couldn't they have got the real Cheggers in? They got him to record voice lines, why not just stick a camera in there with him? Was Cheggers' home in Liverpool just a little too far for Oxygen Games to go and film him? At least we finally get to hear our lovely host's voice, the guest of honor's wonderful, lovely...
Hey! Come on then! It's time for you!
Oh my god, somebody make this vile scouser shut up! I could not think of a more grating, more annoying, less charismatic voice if I tried, and this is coming from me. I would honestly rather every single sound here was replaced by the most annoying sound in the world from Dumb and Dumber than hear Cheggers continue to deliver unfunny one-liners and scream like a banshee whenever something happens.
Are you gonna make the final cut? Hey, I'm not wearing anything down there. Why?
Cheggers is literally naked from the waist down. Why does this game exist? In terms of gameplay, Cheggers is an extremely bare-bones quiz game. Sound effects are as stock as they come. I would possibly even wager them to be royalty-free, and if I had to play armchair developer, I would estimate that the total development period excluding Cheggers' voice was less than a month. Questions usually revolve around films, music, flags, or celebrities, and are painfully outdated even for 2007. And the various different twists on answering formats are either so trite they don't bear talking about, or entirely useless and entirely circumvented by answering questions the same way you normally would. Channel hopping is pointless, the time-based ones are either a matter of guessing or waiting for the timer to run out, the ones where you have to pick the name as it pops up are bland. It's all functional, sure, but so very nothingy. And this is one of the reasons Cheggers Party Quiz has taken me so many attempts to write for. There's simply nothing to it. Aside from Cheggers himself and the minimum effort presentation, what the hell am I actually meant to say about this abomination? Yes, it's terrible, but it's not an entertaining, spectacular kind of terrible. It's not a car crash so much as a dropped ice cream cone. It's just plain boring and aggravating, which might actually be worse than if it was ridiculously poorly designed. Even the results screen at the end uses a My First Particle Effects package with the normal main menu music and I don't understand. Sony put a seal of quality on this. Nintendo put a seal of quality on this, for God's sake. Someone at those companies played this and said, yes, we will license this for sale, this is a good game. I mean, what? Is there some kind of joke here that I simply don't get, or was this really the best they could do? Oxygen Games, the publishers of this sordid pile of filth, went into administration in 2009. I can't possibly imagine why, but what I can imagine is the effect this had on so many unfortunate buyers. Cheggers Party Quiz is not worth a passing thought, much less your money. I have wasted my time making this video. Forget it exists, do not talk about it, do not bring attention to it. Usually I am extremely against destroying video games. I think they are pieces of art and history and should be preserved. But if you absolutely have to interact with this pustulous, infernal piece of data on a disc, please do me a favor and destroy it. Destroy as many copies of Cheggers Party Quiz as you possibly can. Thank you.